Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Summer of Chess. Now, for this first episode of the 21st, a Thursday, I played once again, just for fun, against a computer player on a 3-minute game. With me on black and my opponent on white. White opens up with king's pawn, I go d5, and he takes. I immediately take with queen, and he threatens queen, so I pull back already. Not really a great way to start the game. He begins with bishop to c4, and so I push d5 to threaten. He takes, and that's obviously another mistake because I can't simply take with my queen, otherwise he would take with his knight, and that would be terrible for me. He moves b3, so I simply go ahead and take his bishop. A oversight by him, and so he moves his queen. I move my pawn up once to threaten the knight, and this time he pulls it back. I move the knight to c6, and so he moves his pawn to c4. If I were smart, I would probably take en passant, but this was a quick game, so I just went ahead and moved black bishop to a6. I mean, white bishop, my apologies. He moves a3, and I move f6. He moves knight to f3, and bishop to g7, and then he follows it up with rook to b1. Knight to f6, and then his knight to g1. At this point, I castle, and he moves his knight to e3. Queen to e6, trying to pin this knight. d3, and then knight to d4. One thing I've noticed about playing against the computers is that it's a lot easier to play against as soon as the queen is out. It doesn't matter how. So typically, I try to trade queens when I'm playing against the computer. From here, it's a take on b4. Knight e2 takes the queen because he apparently didn't see that I was threatening it right here. And then he takes with the knight, and I simply move my knight to g4, hoping for him to take so I can continue trading pieces. This is a quick game, and computers are extremely fast. He does not take, so I take, and when he takes with his pawn, I do not take with my queen because the bishop. So I simply move my white square bishop to b7, hoping to get my queen right here and threaten mate. He moves his pawn to c5, and so I prepare to threaten mate. From there, he moves his rook, because he doesn't like that idea, so I move my rook to d8. From there, he moves pawn to b5, and then I simply take his pawn that was hanging here. He moves to threaten my bishop, and so I move to a8. From there, he moves his bishop to a3, my apologies, to threaten this one right here. And so I move my knight right here. He does not take. Instead, he chooses to threaten my queen on the h-file, and so I simply move to h4. He moves his rook to f4 to threaten it, and so I move my queen to g5. He moves his knight to c1 to threaten my rook here. So I simply take that pawn that was just hanging. From there, he moves his rook, seemingly for no reason, to f2. I put him in check, and so he moves his rook there. I put him in check again on e3, forcing his king to move. I take the knight, and he moves his knight to d3. From there, I take his rook that he moved out of the way for, and from there, he finally takes that pawn on e7 that he's been eyeing. From there, I put him in check with my black bishop. He takes with his knight, so I take with my queen, and he makes a terrible move, moving g3, now opening him up here. So I move my knight check, he moves to h1, and then I simply move my queen to e1 checkmate. This game was 35 moves long, and it was against the computer.